We want to welcome everybody to the first game plan for USASBE 2022 Pioneer and Persevere, being hosted in Raleigh, North Carolina by our friends NC State University and East Carolina University, January 5th through the 9th of 2022. So today we are being joined by one of our host representatives, Dr. Michael Harris from East Carolina University. So Michael and I are going to talk about a couple things that are important for the conference. And one of the things that I really want to mention is that Mike and Dennis Barber, his colleague, Professor Dennis Barber, really took a look at the opportunity of shaping something new for USASBE, and that is the hybrid conference. And not many institutions would be bold in order to say, hey, we've not done this before, but we're willing to do this now with you. So Mike, I wanted to welcome you to the stage. If you want to be sure to unmute and share a little bit about your vision as you guys were putting together the concept of Pioneer and Persevere. What was some of the vision that you had?
Sure. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate it. It's funny that in our classroom, we always talk about that entrepreneurship is a team sport. And I really think that applies to the education side. That when we created the Miller School in 2015, we really looked at our colleagues in USASBE and said, hey, who's doing some really cool stuff? And we looked at many programs, and we looked within our state, and certainly our friends up at NC State are doing some really cool things. So for the past 5 years, we've interacted with them tremendously, and other friends all throughout our state, and USASBE, of course. But we really established a key connection in NC State, and we have a lot of commonalities that we serve a rural component. You know, NC State's in Raleigh, but they also have a pretty wide net. So as we started to think about, hey, let's get everybody back together. Let's be innovative, creative. We are the pirates, of course, pirates in the pack. You put us together, and I think we can create some really innovative things. So we got together after the online conference in January and said, hey, let's put together a proposal and let's create something that really highlights how programs can work together, and let's use this as a way to showcase our state. So let's see, about 4 years ago in our state, we created the North Carolina Entrepreneurship Educators Alliance, and we really started to connect as a state to learn from each other. So we're excited, certainly at NC State and ECU, but we really hope to have a strong North Carolina presence and to create something special for everyone in USASBE.
Fantastic. Well, and I know one of the cool things that we're talking about doing is these half-day summits. It's replacing the typical pre-conference workshop day, because we're allowing these we've been apart from each other for so long. We know that USASBE, we like to get together and spend some time and really think deeply and act intentionally about a number of different topics. And so this year we have 12 different half-day summits that are taking place on January 6th. Of 2022, and one of them is pretty cool, and Mike is going to speak to it a little bit. It's being pulled together by our Rural Entrepreneurship SIG, Special Interest Group, and with that one in particular, I think they're all hopping on a pirate bus, right, Mike? And you're going to Greenville, North Carolina, and tell everybody what's going to happen there, what they get to see.
Sure. So typically pirates, you've got to walk the plank, but we're going to allow you to ride the bus. That's a lot more comfortable, I think. So we have got this big giant pirate bus that we're going to have up in Raleigh, and we're planning an event, a summit, to bring a select group to Greenville to show them East Carolina. The other cool thing is that we're actually in the process of completing construction of the Isley Innovation Hub. And ironically, it literally connects beautifully. We expect to have the Isley Innovation Hub done in late fall semester. So we're hoping our first event in the Isley Innovation Hub, it's a 15,000 square feet hub in the heart of our campus that it's ideation space, it's maker space, it's what we like to call collision space, where smart people collide and create very cool things. And we are planning that the first event in the IZ Innovation Hub is the Entrepreneurial Summit through USASBE. So we're going to, we really invest a lot of time, a lot of energy in the rural entrepreneurship area. We're very pleased that we were a pioneer in helping create the Rural Research Fellowship. So we hope to invite them maybe to get some updates on their research. So we've got some research components, some of the best practices. We hope to also invite our community partners to kind of show how at ECU we develop connections. I'm imagining that many institutions have the same call, but at ECU, regional transformation is very important. So we love to talk about the classroom, we love to talk about the research component, but we want to spend some time really talking how ECU is involved in the regional transformation component and to hear from others. So we're going to have a blast. We're going to probably try to leave bright and early that day, have everybody back in time for the opening reception, of course, but we'd love to show you around the IZ Innovation Hub, to show you how pirates approach things and to learn from each other.
I love it. And that's, you got to get back in time for the opening reception, right? There's definitely that.
Did we promise?
So that's great. And so here's kind of the arc for those of you so the summits are an innovation for the conference. And here's kind of the arc of events in case people are wondering. So January 5th is going to be our learning journey day. And those are fun, but they're also very engaging. So one of the things that we're launching in January 5th is our Ag Entrepreneurship Special Interest Group. And so that particular group, we're pulling people from all over the US. Penn State's taking a lead with that. NC State's taking a lead, in Iowa State. All three of those institutions are taking a lead. And they're going to the Angus Barn, which is apparently I need to go to the Angus Barn. Is that right, Mike? Okay, all right. So a great restaurant, and they're going to have a learning journey summit that day where ag entrepreneurship programs or programs interested in ag entrepreneurship can submit their program information and be invited to go to this learning journey, sponsored by Penn State, to go to the Angus Barn. And then the next day is their summit day, where they're really talking about what is the research agenda, what is the teaching agenda, what are some of the programmatic agendas that are important to ag entrepreneurship. So that is kind of cool. So we've got learning journeys on the 5th, we've got summits on the 6th, and then our conference really kicks off the next day, where we have peer-reviewed papers in innovative teaching practices. And one of our next live streams is going to cover all the tracks and all the new things going on. But I highly encourage people to take a look at that, because we've got research tracks, we've got teaching tracks, and we've got programming tracks that are all very valuable opportunities to learn what's happening throughout the United States and the world. And it will be a hybrid conference, and so that's going to be fantastic too. If you can't get funding to come from where you're at, you can still engage in the whole conference of the peer-reviewed conference and see what's happening and be there synchronously, but then also access all of that information in a searchable compendium after the event. So we've got our conference that kicks off, and Mike, now you guys actually won an award last year, and so the awards this year will again be on Saturday the 8th. Nominations process is open now, and we have they're very coveted awards. So Mike, how have you kind of used or how has the winning the Model Emerging Program Award benefited ECU?
Sure. First of all, it is really a great way to learn about your own program. That as you put together the application and the video, there are interesting questions that you have to respond to, and it's questions that, as a director, I was extremely comfortable with, but they ask them in a way that really make you connect dots. It's just completing the application is an enlightening experience. Certainly, it's great to win. In my opinion, the USASBE awards are in the highest esteem. This was, when we created the school, this was a goal to create a program that within USASBE was viewed as an exemplar. So certainly that there are many great branding opportunities that I get a chance to talk to students, donors, alums, other colleagues, and we are quick to point out our close relationship here in USASBE. And not so much to brag, even though anyone who knows me knows I'm very competitive, and nothing wrong with bragging, and we are extremely proud. But it's that stamp of high quality that we use it as a way to say, look, that our peers in USASBE have reviewed our programs and think we are involved in some really interesting concepts, and the way we tie them together, the way we create value is very critical. So it is something that we are extremely proud of, something that I encourage anyone. It is a great process to really learn about your program, and it is great in regards to branding. We have been lucky to be a Princeton Review Top 50 school, but the great thing about the USASBE award, it comes from your peers, and it's something that you have to complete. Not to say you don't earn the Princeton award, because that's also very exciting, but in USASBE, you've got a chance to really present and to earn it the old-fashioned way, if you know what I mean. So it is something I encourage everyone to do. A final thought is that, again, the process really makes you articulate what makes you special, what is your secret sauce, and it allows you to really understand your focal area. So we have been very adamant about the fact that we spend a lot of time in the rural entrepreneurship area, and that's from the research side, that's from our programming side, that's from our educational side. A lot of our kids are from the area. It just really helps you to develop that the reputation in that area. So I encourage everyone to do it.
Nice. So, and we'll have Judy Isles, who's our 2022 program award chair. She'll be on the live stream in the next couple of weeks here. But we actually, if anybody is interested, if any institution is interested in learning about the process of applying for any of our program awards, our coveted USASBE Excellence in Entrepreneurship Education Program Awards, on the 27th, we are having a webinar. Judy and I are having a webinar about the program awards and the Lifetime Achievement Award. So if you have questions, come to that. It will be recorded and available on YouTube as well. But then if you have additional questions and want to participate in a live stream with Judy, tune back in each Friday, and she'll be participating in the next couple weeks. All right. I want to let everybody know we have a new website that will be the main launch page for all of our USASBE conferences and programming, and it is usasbelaunch.org. And that is where you'll be able to see everything that has to do with USASBE. I am going to, you'll have to let me know if this screen share actually, I don't think the screen share is going to work this time. We'll make sure it works next time. But on our conference website, usasbelaunch.org, it has everything that you need to know about the conference. The dates, the location, the hotel, the registration fees, which are early bird at this point, so definitely check that out. We have all of our summits listed. We're getting our learning journeys all on there. We've got awards information as well. It is the main launch pad for everything to do with the conference. So please do go out there. You can take a look at that. Oh, and sponsorship. There's also sponsorship information out there. It's a great way to align what's happening at your university and institution with some of the great things that are happening at USASBE as well. All right. If people want to put some things in the chat, we're certainly happy to answer any questions in the chat. But Mike, I wanted to definitely thank you and ask you one final question. How much sleep do you get at USASBE conferences typically?
Sleep is actually optional at USASBE conferences. and we are extremely excited that it's in Raleigh. Extremely excited. We are very excited to partner with our close friends at NC State. But I've been to USASBE conferences all throughout the country, and it truly is. It truly is a family reunion. It's a chance to come back together. Certainly, I connect with the colleagues all throughout the year, but it's a chance to come together, share best practices, share research, share educational strategy, and there's so much fun to be had, so much learning, that sleep is certainly about your fourth option at best. So there's the learning and the sharing and a little bit of social activities, and then sleeping. It's kind of one of those things. Okay, yeah, 3-4 hours is about all you need at USASBE.
I love it. I would agree with that. So I just wanted to share one more thing with regards to with USASBE. So this is our 40th anniversary, and we are actually going through the process of interviewing 40 different individuals who've been important within the history of our organization. Some have since passed, of course. Those aren't the ones we're interviewing, but we're learning more about them as well. And one of the things that really strikes me about USASBE is for 40 years, we have been a very unique and different community. We're kind of a group of dreamers and misfits, and very passionate. I resemble that remark. Yeah, right. I mean, we've been this very unique group because as the discipline has really been developing and getting to the point where we're seen as truly legitimate, it's absolutely been the place where people can come and advance and legitimize what they're doing, advance concepts into the greater good of helping students become entrepreneurs, become entrepreneurial, and to think like an entrepreneur. So I just love the fact that we've been around for 40 years. I'm looking forward to the next 40 years, and certainly this is a great point of our history for USASBE 2022, where we've been pioneering through through a lot of things certainly over the past few years, but for the past 40 years, we've been pioneering, and we're going to persevere into the future. So Mike, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you everybody who's tuned in. Tune in next week at the same time, same place.
Absolutely. And hey, we can't wait to see you in Raleigh.
Absolutely. Thanks everybody. Bye-bye.
Again. Thanks.